Christmas and all through the Steel City. And there's plenty of stirring in the Peterson Event Center, where the Pittsburgh Panthers have lost only once since they moved in. The fans are looking for another victory under the tree. Will Santa deliver, or will Richmond play the Grinch? Christmas Eve is just 5 hours away in Pittsburgh, and the Panthers want to give their fans one more gift before Santa Claus is coming to town. But speaking of lively and quick, forget St. Nick. He couldn't keep up with Krauser. The speedy junior from New York leads Pittsburgh in scoring. He's been on fire from the field in his last 2 games. Tonight it's Holiday Hoops presented by K Jewelers. The number 7 Pittsburgh Panthers are home for the holidays, looking to run their record to a perfect 9-0. But along comes the Spiders. Richmond out of the Atlantic 10, a team used to knocking off top 25 teams. And a very pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Bicozzi, along with Len Elmore. A happy holiday season to each of you. And Len, if you're a Pittsburgh fan, there's not a whole lot to be unhappy about. Yet another 8-0 start. But tonight's opponent, certainly no stranger to the word upset.
Well, certainly not. When you look at Pittsburgh, again, it begins with solid defense. That's the thing that's led them to the best win percentage in Division I in the last 3 years. But when you talk about Richmond, this is a team that will love to put some coal in your holiday stocking. They did it last season against Kansas, the season before that against ranked Xavier, and the season before that against the ranked Stanford team. Terrific inside-out game with Kevin Burge as well as Deion Merritt outside. They're a type of team that you have to watch and have to guard on the perimeter if you want to make sure they don't hurt you.
And in tonight's Star Watch, keep your eye on the men in the middle.
Well, certainly you want to look at Kevin Steenberg, though I just mentioned. Excellent athlete, can step outside and present problems for Chris Taft. And Chris Taft emerging as one of the best big men in the nation, a shot blocker, reliable scorer down low.
And joining Taft in the starting lineup tonight for Pittsburgh, freshman Ronald Ramon, who will get the start instead of Antonio Graves, who sprained his ankle on Saturday. Jermaine Butner, the Atlantic 10 Player of the Week, following his performance in a win the other night against UAB. And like clockwork, Len, these two teams get together every 66 years.
Well, I tell you, obviously we'll throw history out the window, except for the fact that we mentioned before, these Richmond players understand what it takes to beat ranked teams.
And jumping center will be Taft and Steenberg, and the tap is controlled by the Panthers. Krauser, and already we get a whistle. And we have a problem with the clock, both the shot clock and the game clock. That's all right. When Len and I arrived today, there was no power in the building except for the emergency lights.
That was quite a welcome, Bob. I mean, they knew we were coming.
Of course, this town is a frenzy over the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are off to a 13-1 start. Yeah, the Pittsburgh Panthers' third consecutive 8-0 start. It's certainly been a city of winners, and a quick turnover for the Panthers. Ahead of everybody is Jamal Scott.
Well, I spoke with Jerry Wainwright before the game, and Jerry said they're going to change up their defenses, a little pressure, a little zone. They're looking for easy baskets. They want to play up-tempo because this is the way his teams are built.
Krauser to Troutman, who's second in the Big East in field goal shooting percentage. Looks inside, nothing there. Krauser being guarded by Scott, takes him in the lane, and a whistle, and we're going to get an offensive foul on Krauser. Call made by Ed Corbett. There's Jerry Wainwright, who took Richmond to its first NCAA tournament appearance in 6 years last March.
Well, Jerry Wainwright has been a terrific coach. I've known him since he was an assistant under Dave Odom at Wake Forest. Takes a great deal of responsibility for the development of guys like Tim Duncan.
And we got a traveling violation called on Jermaine Butner. Jamie Dixon, all he did in his first year as a head coach a year ago was win the Big East regular season title, take his team to the Big East championship game, the Sweet 16, and for his efforts, he was named the Big East Coach of the Year.
So what do you do for an encore?
I guess you do it again. Pittsburgh, the one thing the Panthers would like to do is get over that Sweet 16 hump. They've been eliminated in the Sweet 16 in each of the last 3 years.
Well, right now, they're averaging almost 80 points a game, which is a departure from what you normally expect from Pittsburgh, which was more deliberate half-court type of offense. So when you got a guy like Chris Taft, a reliable go-to inside guy, you're allowed to be able to push the ball up the floor, because in a need situation, you got big number 23.
Taft coming off a big 18-point effort in the win Saturday over Coppin State. Here's Buckner for three. He's third in the Atlantic 10 in three-point field goals. Ramon to Krauser. Krauser resets the offense.
Right now, Richmond staying in the man-to-man. We mentioned before, look for changing defenses, trying to throw Pittsburgh off balance.
Troutman set a pick, and when he sets a pick, it stays set. Another turnover. That's number 3 for the Panthers. Dion Merritt, left side Buckner, the wide open look.
Well, I'll tell you what, we spoke about Richmond and their penchant for knocking off ranked teams around the holiday season. The way they do it is inside out. Right now, Jermaine Buckner establishing that perimeter. Some terrific three-point shooters on this Richmond Spiders team.
16th three-pointer of the year for Buckner. Demetrius tries to answer and does. Demetrius shooting 44% from three-point range this year.
Well, Yuri Demetrius is one of those guys that's been a pleasant surprise with Jamie Dixon. Really stepped it up this year as a player.
Second turnover for the Spiders as Steenberg airmails it inside. And we mentioned the penchant for the upset, and that one over Kansas came with Jerry Wainwright at the helm last January.
And, you know, Jerry gets his teams mentally prepared. He understands that playing a tough schedule will help, obviously, get them into the NCAA tournament, which he believes that Kansas win was the thing that pushed them over the hump. But it's also excellent preparation for their Atlantic 10 conference play. And this is a Richmond team that, again, they want to be not so much the giant killers, they want to start to become the Giants.
Shot clock inside 10. Troutman puts it on the floor and will draw. The first foul of the night is called on the big man in the middle, Kevin Steenberg. Troutman, an outstanding free throw shooter, 7th best in the Big East at 76.5%.
And there was a point in time last year where you never thought you could say that about Siobhan Troutman, who was shooting in the high 40s, low 50s from the line, but he steadily improved, and throughout that season, he became actually a pretty good clutch free throw shooter last year. This year, he's just been putting in plain old hard work from the line, as we kind of jinxed him talking about his free throw shooting prowess.
Buckner re-enters for Richmond, replacing Gaston Maliva, the best shot blocker on this Richmond team. Troutman is second in the Big East in field goal shooting percent, and in fact, Len, he's Pittsburgh's all-time career leader in field goal shooting at 65%.
Well, he's a relentless offensive rebounder. Throughout the course of this game, we're going to see him cover the weak side glass, get a bunch of putbacks, and that's why he shoots such a high percentage, because he just looks for high percentage shots.
Panthers lead it by 1. On the right, putting it on the floor, Scott misses everything. Troutman rebounds. Here comes Pittsburgh 3-on-2 if they hurry. Demetrius finds Taft inside. Blocked by Buckner. Troutman picks up the loose change and will get to the line again.
You know, Chevy Troutman, because he does it with such elan, has kind of redefined the word garbage player, because he will be around the basket. He'll get the loose balls. He'll do all the dirty work, as we mentioned. That's what makes Pittsburgh go.
First foul on Patrick O'Malley and 2 on the Spiders. Troutman out of Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Really survived quite a difficult upbringing. At one point in his life, both of his parents were incarcerated. And he, to a large degree, had to raise one of his siblings. And he has come out of that atmosphere. He already has his degree here at Pittsburgh, using the final year of eligibility as a graduate student. Both of his parents are still a big part of Chevy's life. But it wasn't easy growing up.
You know, and if you look at this Pittsburgh program, they have a number of guys who've had some pretty tough backgrounds. Kevin Steenberg.
Coming off the back screen to pull Richmond within 1.
We told you at the beginning of the telecast, Kevin Steenberg's an excellent athlete. That was illustrated right there.
Taft wants to go at Steenberg, misses everything. Krauser with the rebound in traffic. Krauser, preseason nominee for the Naismith and Wooden Awards. Off the hands of Buckner, a little bit too much mustard on that Steenberg pass, but he's getting it done at the other end of the floor.
Well, he certainly Look at him set the screen right here. Taft steps out and Steenberg slips that screen. screen, and that's what they want to do. They want to keep Chris Taft. If he's going to play defense against Steenberg, they want to keep him on the move. Steenberg with good footwork, excellent leaping ability, he's going to find ways to score.
Jamie Dixon was telling me the other day that he felt the biggest improvement for Taft this year is at the defensive end. Aaron Gray off the bench gets involved right away.
And speaking of improvement, Aaron Gray, terrific this year, averages 6 points, 5 rebounds in just a little bit over 14 minutes. Really gives the team a lift in the middle.
One thing that's improved is his waistline length. He lost 30 pounds over the summer.
Hey, he's a little quicker out there, on his toes.
Courtney Nelson, number 33, is checked in for Richmond at the point. Buckner loses the handle, and Troutman comes away with it. Fourth turnover for the Spiders.
And again, it's that solid half-court defense, not a lot of gamble by Pittsburgh.
Down low, intended for Krauser or Gray. Take your pick. Neither one was at home. It's a 5-point Panthers lead, 5 minutes in. Sweet home indeed. The Pittsburgh Panthers, a stunning 41-1 here at the Peterson Event Center. Since this magnificent on-campus facility opened in 2002. Jamie Dixon in his second year at the helm. He, of course, was the associate head coach under his very close friend Ben Howland, who is now in his second year at UCLA.
Prior to Tim Floyd taking that USC job, an awful lot of talk about Jamie Dixon taking the USC job. Wouldn't that be something? If your mentor right across town and you're recruiting against him?
Of course, Jamie is from North Hollywood, California. That's where he was born. He played his high school ball in Southern California. He said there was never anything to the rumor. That would be difficult with Dixon and Howland being so close, coaching against each other twice a year, and as you mentioned, going head-to-head in the recruiting wars.
Although Jamie says there's nothing to it, but if they call, you got to listen, right?
Demetrius to Ramon. Wanted to go back to Demetrius, but Demetrius had cut toward the lane. Krauser picks it up and finds Ramon again. Down low, Troutman quickly double. Passes out of the double team to Krauser. Shot clock inside 10. Demetrius tried to force that inside. Len, that's 5 turnovers already for the Panthers.
And again, Demetrius slow in receiving the ball. Krauser should have gotten that second pass out of the double team. You catch the defense in rotation when you can move the ball and get that second pass.
TJ Patrick just checks in and he loses the ball to Krauser. 5th turnover for the Spiders. It's only Patrick's second game with Richmond. He's a transfer from Washington State. Look at the quick move by Gray. But swatting it away inside was Maliva. Still loose, and Maliva runs it down. Maliva, the 7th best shot blocker in the Atlantic 10. That was his 10th of the year. Patrick. Left side to O'Malley.
You know, we talk about the mistakes that Pittsburgh's making right now, particularly uncharacteristic of a 7th-ranked team, but their biggest eraser has to be their defense. And that time, Patrick O'Malley steps up and hits the 3, and Jerry Wainwright told me that O'Malley has the size to be able to stretch the defense. His size allows him to get that 3 off, and he's got pretty much unlimited range.
O'Malley 4th in the Atlantic 10 in three-point shooting percentage, knocking them down at 46%. Demetrius, bounce pass, Krauser. Ramon. Gray finds Krauser on the perimeter, fires up the 3 and drains it. 13th of the year.
Boy, Carl Krauser really playing with an awful lot of confidence offensively. You know, last year it might have been a little tentative, even though he was one of the leading scorers of this team. This year he's taken over. This is his squad. No transition period for him.
Patrick hits the jumper. He only had 2 points in his first game the other day against UAB, and he matches that total. A walk-on at Washington State was TJ Patrick. Actually got a start. First game that he was eligible for Richmond last Friday. Troutman to Krauser. We played nearly 8 minutes. Pittsburgh by 3. Troutman down low, even lowers Gray.
Well, that's excellent ball movement. Again, it's that second pass that goes inside. You catch the defense in rotation, and no one rotated over to Aaron Gray.
Walking it across is Nelson. O'Malley sets the screen. Now Troutman jumps out on for the double team. Patrick Can he hit 2 in a row? Sure does.
And that was with no hesitation. Little inside-out play by Richmond right now to answer Pittsburgh.
Patrick 1 for 5 from the floor in his debut for Richmond. Already has hit 2 shots tonight. Demetrius to Gregg. Haven't seen Antonio Graves yet. Sprained his ankle Saturday. He did practice today in the shoot-around. Looked like he was moving around pretty well, and we understand he is available for duty. Demetrius for his second three. And the rebound foul will be called on Gregg. It's a 3-point Pittsburgh lead. A big, big day here on the Pittsburgh campus. Pittsburgh Athletic Director Jeff Long introducing the Panthers' new varsity football coach. And he is former Pittsburgh Panther player and former assistant Pittsburgh coach Dave Wanstead. You remember him as the head coach of the Chicago Bears and most recently the Miami Dolphins. And we hope to chat with Dave in a couple of minutes. And very popular hire, Len, to get a guy of Dave Wanstead's caliber and his experience, not to mention his Pittsburgh roots.
Well, absolutely. Anytime you can get one of your own to coach for you, it's got to be a tremendous thrill on both sides, for the school as well as the coach.
Out of the timeout, Richmond ball trailing by 3. Throwing up the 3 from long range. No good was Merritt. He is yet to score tonight. He's the leading scorer for the Panthers. Keith Benjamin, freshman, is checked in for the Panthers. Krauser can't hook up with McCarroll on the alley-oop, and here comes Richmond the other way. Merritt finds Scott, and Scott will go to the line with a chance to chip away at that 3-point Pittsburgh lead.
And one of the few times Dion Merritt's been able to penetrate, get the ball in the paint, and create for someone. Pittsburgh's been doing a nice job of keeping him from turning the corner.
And Scott will go to the foul line. And we're very pleased to be joined by the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Panthers, Dave Wanstead. Dave, congratulations and welcome back.
Well, thank you. It's great to be back home here, ready to go.
Now, you initially, from what we understand, had indicated that you weren't interested in the job. What changed your mind?
Well, the timing of the thing was really the only concern. I had just got back from doing a TV game on Fox, and Jeff Long, the athletic director, called me and wanted to talk about the job, and I just wasn't ready at that particular time. And we talked a week later, and I had some chance to visit with my family and my wife a little bit, and I said, let's talk about this thing if you haven't named a guy, and here we are.
Well, congratulations. You used to obviously roaming the sidelines in the NFL, although your career started in college. What are you looking forward to as making adjustments here? It's been a while since you've been on the side with a university next to the name of the team.
It has, and the biggest difference between the college and the pro is the amount of time, or the limited amount of time you can spend with the college players. Where in the NFL, they're in there, as you know, professional sports, we're in there at 7 in the morning and they're there all day. So the time adjustment's the only thing. From a football standpoint and recruiting, heck, we're recruiting now and the pros with free agency. So that part is really not much different. And it's just great to be back and be part of a great university, and hopefully we can make a difference and see if we can move this thing to another level.
We're chatting with Dave Wanstead, the new football coach of the Pittsburgh Panthers. Kevin Steenberg's jumper for Richmond pulls the Spiders with it too, and then Carl Krauser comes right back with a 3. He's got 8 points already.
Well, you obviously played here in the late 60s, early 70s. This place has changed quite a bit, hasn't it? Particularly with Peterson.
This is where I used to play, where we're sitting. Really? Yeah, this is old Pitt Stadium right here. This was the old stadium, and this is actually my first time in here. This is a great facility. Fantastic.
Carl Krauser with the jumper now has 10 points, and the Panthers have opened up a 7-point lead. The crowd's starting to get into it. Of course, the students are on semester break, but there still is a good representation of students. Tabb forcing the turnover. That's number 7 for the Spiders. Krauser will walk it across as we continue our chat with Dave Wanstead. Dave, for those fans not too familiar with your past, you have a wealth of experience at the college coaching level. You began coaching college right here at your alma mater after you graduated. You were part of Johnny Major's staff on the national championship team in 1976. You coached at USC, at Miami, at Oklahoma State. So it really won't be that difficult of a transition.
No, it won't. I had 14 years in the college ranks and 15 in the professional. So it's good. I'm excited to be back, and the college atmosphere is really exciting. I mean, just to be able to come and do things like this on campus, it's a whole different experience, obviously, than the NFL.
And Carroll down low to Taft, and we'll get a whistle and a foul there. And of course, when you talk about Pittsburgh, you're talking about the Big East. It is a revamped Big East with the University of Miami and Virginia Tech, and now next year Boston College joining the Atlantic 10, and you will be taking over a team that's playing in a BCS ball game this year.
Walt Harris and his staff have done a great job this year, and 16 or 17 of the players are back next year, so it's relatively a young team. You know, with the new facilities here, which we got 2 years ago. Great leadership from our chancellor on down. I mean, there's really a commitment here to excel, and it's exciting.
Wild shot taken inside by O'Malley. Steenbergs misses the tap, and McCarroll comes away with it. Panthers have opened up a 7-point lead. Krauser's hit all 4 of his shots tonight and has also had 3 assists.
So you grew up not too far from here in the Pittsburgh area. Now, obviously, you got to do some house hunting. You know, you go from Miami to warm weather.
I gotta do some clothes shopping.
That's true.
I gotta get some socks and an overcoat. That's what I gotta do. My mother still lives here, and I got a couple of sisters and a brother live here, so we get back generally, once a year. So I really haven't lost my contacts and from the university from when I left there.
Dave, what do you think will be the biggest adjustment for you from when you coached in college the last time you've been out? How has the college game changed from a head coaching standpoint?
Well, I think, number one, the recruiting part of it, before we go X and O's, the recruiting part of it, you are very, very limited as far as the number of times you can go see a prospect. When I was coaching here, you could go see a kid every other day if you wanted to for basically 6 months. The signing date was in March or April. Now the signing date's, I think, February 5th or 6th. And the head coach can only make so many home visits, so they've really tightened up the restrictions as far as what you can do recruiting the players. That's what's changed.
Well, Dave, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on your new assignment. Best of luck here.
Thank you very much.
It's Dave Wanstead, the new coach of the Pittsburgh Panthers. The announcement made at a news conference today. Of course, Pittsburgh will be playing in the BCS bowl game coming up on New Year's Day. Out of the Richmond timeout, the Spiders have fallen behind by 9 points. Oliva back in the lineup for Jerry Wainwright's club. And when it's all happened at the defensive end.
Well, absolutely. That's what Pittsburgh has built its success upon, playing strong defense and then rebounding. Force the other team into mistakes. The added dimension for Pittsburgh is their ability off the bounce in transition to penetrate, to get good looks, and to convert.
Krauser finally misses a shot. Merritt saves it, will bring it up with 7:15 to go. And the Spiders trailing by 9. Only the second meeting ever between these two. Their only previous meeting was back in 1938. 7-0 Pittsburgh run in the last 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Wild fourth shot by Patrick. Taft loses the rebound over the end line. Demetrius will return for the Panthers when we come back, with the Panthers up by 9.
Are you ready to play? Here we come to play by play. The CBC Sports got the NBA. The heat of the Lakers coming through your TVs. Hyundai.
Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh. Bob Picosi along with Len Elmore. So glad you joined us. Happy holidays to each of you. The Pittsburgh Panthers 8-0 undefeated on a 7-0 run. And Len, they've extended the lead to 9. And Carl Krauser is the engine who makes this attack go.
Well, Carl Krauser 4 of 5 thus far in this game. And again, he's been able to stretch the defense, step outside, hit threes. A lot of people don't realize that Krauser's got that capability. And then in transition off the bounce, he's been able to distribute the ball pretty well.
Out of the timeout, Spiders ball beneath their own hoop. Merritt finds O'Malley. He has one of the Richmond threes. Panthers have 1 field goal in the last 4 minutes, and the drought continues. Ramon.
But right now, Pittsburgh has really sealed off the inside, forcing Richmond to almost by default just shoot the outside jumper, not able to get the ball close to the basket.
Gray misses the shot inside, and here comes Merritt the other way. Merritt had 20 points off the bench against UAB. Look at that move.
That's what he likes to do. First time Merritt's been able to really turn the corner in the half court.
Went right by Krauser to end that 7-0 run. Krauser signals the play with the right hand. Now Demetrius pops out, defended by the much taller Buckner. Ramon, Krauser wide open for three. Got it!
He's feeling it tonight. Krauser comes into this game shooting 39% from beyond the arc. But he's just demonstrated his versatility. Whatever is asked of him, whatever the defense gives him, Kyle Krauser is more than willing to take it.
Well, he's shooting 75% from behind the arc tonight, and the Spiders lose the ball over the sideline again. Jerry Wainwright's club really taking careless care of the basketball.
One of the few times you'll see Pittsburgh playing a little matador defense as Merritt forces him to stay Olay. Gets that quick step into the lane, and there's called Krauser. Again, good ball movement and swinging the ball from one side to the other.
8 turnovers now for the Spiders. Krauser finds Ramon. Now outside to Demetrius. Krauser will reset the offense. Still 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Gets the screen from Gray. Demetrius. Shot clock down to 7. Troutman for 3. Front rims it. Rebound comes down to Buckner. He's the 7th leading rebounder in the Atlantic 10. Merritt only has 2 points tonight. Pass goes off Maliba's hands, and that's 9 turnovers for Richmond.
And again, the aggressive style of defense by Pittsburgh starting to wear Richmond down a little bit to the point where they start to make the little mental mistakes. Not fundamentally sound in passing the ball or in receiving.
Spiders 4th in the Atlantic 10 in turnover margin. It's 4 out of 12 teams. Krauser from behind the Demetrius screen, and Merritt tried to push his way through and is called for the personal foul. Holiday Hoops presented by King Jewelers continues next from Memphis. It's a chance to see one of the best players in the country. He's Ryan Gomes, and he will lead Providence against Coach John Calamari's Memphis Tigers. Don't miss the last college basketball game before Christmas, coming up right after us here on ESPN2. Ryan Gomes, the preseason Big East player down low, took one step too many, and when Ryan Gomes had to make the decision whether or not to return for his senior year or go to the NBA, do you think he made the right choice?
Yeah, I did, and the reason is because he got enough information from the people in the NBA to tell him that he needed to work on a few things. You know, Ryan Gomes is a terrific talent, but he wanted to demonstrate a little more explosiveness, a little quicker release on his jump shot. And early in the season, I saw him in the preseason NIT, he was playing awfully well.
Pittsburgh beat this Memphis team, the Coaches versus Cancer Classic, as Merritt starts to go. He'll draw the push on Ramon, number 1 on Ramon, and number 4 on Jamie Dixon's Panthers.
And I think a little bit of a scolding given to Dion Merritt on the defensive end, where he fouled Demetrius because he tried to go through the pick instead of around, has really kind of lit a fire under Merritt right now. He looks as though he wants to assert himself.
O'Malley with his 2nd 3 in the game, his 14th of the year, 10th most in the Atlantic 10. He's quite a weapon at 6'8".
And that's what Richmond does. They will hang around. They've got the three-point shooters just to keep them within striking distance. Jerry Wainwright said that they can beat anybody in a 5-minute game. They want to hang around to the last 5 minutes of the ball game and then be able to assert themselves.
Taft wanted the foul on Steenberg, didn't get it, but settles for the basket and a 9-point Panthers lead. Pittsburgh's average margin of victory this year is an astonishing 25 points. Merritt blows right by Ramon.
Well, I'll tell you what, the other thing Jerry Wainwright said is obviously Dion Merritt from New York City, Ramon from New York City, Carl Krauser. He didn't really want his guys to get into this mano-a-mano New York versus New York thing. But right now, Dion Merritt's starting to light it up.
Ramon finds Demetrius, 4 points for Merritt. His club down by 7 as we approach the 3-minute mark. Krauser, really left Merritt in a lurch. Doesn't get the roll, but way up for the rebound is Scott.
Black Magic gives it. Krauser doing a little sleight of hand.
Steenberg saves it, finds Buckner, and back outside to O'Malley. Steenberg.
That's where Steenberg can bring Taft outside. Taft has to honor him because he's jump shooting ability.
Turnover number 10 for Richmond as Troutman drives. He'll be called for the offensive foul. That's number 1 on Troutman and number 5 on the Panthers. Richmond coming off a huge 96-point outing against UAB. Do they have enough offense to hand Pittsburgh his first loss of the season?
Doug tells you why, also reveals his Christmas wish list for college basketball, and I understand it includes the Panthers.
Yeah, and why the Panthers should have some luggage purchased for them on the Christmas season.
That's good. That'll keep you around, Bob.
All right, Dave, and that new coach at USC is not Jamie Dixon, we might point out. He is gainfully employed here at Pittsburgh, and Richmond, Len, is the second best three-point shooting team in the Atlantic 10, and it's enabled them to hang around tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they're shooting a respectable percentage, and it's been Patrick O'Malley who's come off the bench, hit a couple of those threes. They add T.J. Patrick with some points of his own, 10 bench points for Richmond. And that's really what's been keeping them within striking distance here. Now, Dion O'Malley has gotten himself started, and O'Malley's on the bench right now.
Great cut to the hole without the ball by O'Malley, and Buckner found it. 8 points off the bench for O'Malley. He averages 9 per game.
That was a smart play because O'Malley, we talked about him hitting 2 threes consecutively. Pittsburgh has to play him out there, and then he reverses the tables on him and goes back door.
Tap one-on-one on Steenberg, spins to his right.
And that's the kind of matchup we expect to see right now. When Pittsburgh's in a need situation, they know they have a reliable guy down on the blocks in sophomore Chris Tapp.
He's got 8. He was the Big East Rookie of the Year last year. Steenberg's quick catch and shoot. Tapp goes way up for the rebound.
Might have been a little too quick because Steenberg's had a chance to ball fake, get Mark McCarroll coming towards him, and then drive to the basket. Instead, he settled for the jumper. And a junior big man, you got to be able to recognize your opportunities.
Krauser has played every second of this first half already. Gives up his dribble. Ramon. O'Malley fronting Tapp down low and giving away a couple of inches.
Tapp with his finger up in the air calling for it.
Deflected on the pass by Patrick. Turnover number 10 now for Pittsburgh. Buckner wide open left side three.
There it is again. Three-point shot keeping Richmond right there.
Jamie Dixon wants time as the Spiders pull within 4. Buckner, the Atlantic 10 Rookie of the Week, primarily because of a 22-point effort last time out Friday night against UAB. A 7-2 Richmond run has pulled the Spiders within 4. Well, you know, the big guy is coming to town, and we don't mean Santa. We're talking about Shaquille O'Neal, 3 p.m. Eastern, Christmas Day. It's the one hoop fans have been waiting for. Shaq's return to L.A., this time with his Miami Heat to face his good buddy Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. Before that, 12:30 Eastern on ESPN, a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals, the Pistons and the Pacers. Their first meeting since you-know-what. It's a huge day of the NBA Christmas Day on ESPN and ABC. A couple of storylines involved in that one, huh?
Wouldn't it be fitting, though, if the boys just came out and kissed and made up?
I don't think that's going to happen. Shaq said yesterday, Kobe has to worry about my man Dwayne Wade, not me. Wade having a fabulous year. Krauser in traffic, wild shot, Tapp with the no-look tipping, and Buckner controls the rebound along the baseline. Final minute of the half. Scott finds Steenberg, big slot. Don't look now, but that lead is down to 2.
Well, Richmond that time in transition on that secondary break pretty much spread the floor and off the bounce, getting inside the paint. That's very uncharacteristic of Pittsburgh's defense to allow people to get into the paint so easily, and you see why.
Shot clock is off. Let's see if Krauser tries to beat Patrick off the bounce. Pass sets the screen up high, and he takes advantage of it. He penetrates, and the blocking foul will be called on O'Malley.
Whoa. Talk about razor thin on that call. The most difficult call to make in basketball. Block charge, and right here, Krauser, actually good call by the official. Krauser left his feet before the defender established position.
But the foul was called on the pass, so he will not be shooting, only the 16th foul. Demetrius deflects the inbound pass. Here's Ramon for three. Doesn't go. So Pittsburgh led it by as many as 10, and Richmond has trimmed that lead to 2. Carl Krauser with a huge first half for the Panthers, but Richmond's three-point shooting has enabled the Spiders to get right back in it. It's halftime here in Pittsburgh with the